Atusa, we're going to get a chance to look at our daily rhythm and see how we function from everyday, day-to-day life. Atusa is a third-year general medicine student. She is super vibrant, super enthusiastic, and she has spent all her thoughts devising a way to break down your daily challenges and help you focus on finding ways to challenge yourself. So, without further ado, please welcome Atusa.
Hello, guys. For those who don't know me, my name is Atusa, but I feel like I've seen most of you guys. So, okay. Where do we start with this? So, the whole caption of this talk was, if you have internal resistance and you want to do something that you feel like it's right for you to do, but you're not doing it, why? Why is it? So, I'm going to do a little disclaimer and say that if you guys are going through something, any type of mental disorder or mental dysfunction or whatever it is, this is not like a therapy for that. This is, the way I would describe it is, for those who, you could say it's like the general public, for those who want to do more with their day-to-day lives, and, they're just choosing not to, for whatever reason. Okay. I wrote here, happiness is key. And why do I say that? So, a lot of people would look at their lives and think, I don't need to do more. Why would I need to do more? I'm perfectly happy living my life as it is. Why would I need to do more? And for those people, that's perfect. You don't need to do more. Because at the end of the day, happiness is key. Now, why do I say this? There's a lot of research being shown on the effects of happiness on the brain and how that increases your cognitive function, how you're more innovative, how you're more rational, how you're more creative, innovative. I mean, you are using your brain at a full capacity when you're happy. So happiness is not just an emotion that you should just be like, oh, okay, happiness. What is that quote with John Lennon that's like, when he was in kindergarten, his kindergarten teacher was like, what do you want to be when you're older? And he wrote like, I want to be happy. And the teacher was like, you don't know the meaning of, I don't know what the quote was specifically, but, and how he was like, you know, the meaning of life. With research from 2000 onward, we have seen the effects of this. And again, I'm going to go through this. So, hi guys. So, something that really, really struck me when I saw this statistic was a fraction of 14 out of the 15 people that have ever been born on Earth are deceased. They are under the ground. Like, they're no longer here. And you guys are the 1 out of the 15. So if you think about it, from the time that, this Earth has been happening and human civilization has been going on, 14 out of the 15 people that have literally lived are no longer here. And you guys are. And why is this super, super important? Because we're in a time right now where we don't have Jack and John as our middleman to creating what it is that we want to do. If you have something that you want to do that like your internal gut's like, I gotta do this, and it's your inner being that's like, oh, this feels right for me, you have technology on your hands now. Like, you can do it. If you put in the time consistently, day by day, in whatever it is that you want to do, you can achieve it. Now, specifically, and it's really interesting because technology is like grown from this like thing, like it was like this, now it's like going up, as you see all over Instagram, all over Facebook. You have all these medias on your hand to create what it is that you want to create. But see, what is stopping us? What is it that makes us not achieve for more? And I would say that it's your programming. A lot of us are programmed to fail, and that's the truth of it. You are in medical school right now, you are achieving for more, but I guarantee you, if you wanted to, you can achieve even more. So, we're going to again, so I said we're programmed to fail and why. Now, I'm going to break this down a little bit into who we are. So if we're going to delve into who we are and the inner workings of our mind, we can't ignore genetics. We cannot ignore that. So, we can't ignore genetics. And so who you are today, of course, yes, like your descendants of your ancestors and, you know, mom and dad or whoever has created you, you're here today. And in all your cells, yeah, you got the DNA and it affects you. And we know diseases come from, yes, heart disease comes genetically, sure. Lung disease comes from it, sure. Mental disease comes from it, sure. Skin disease, eye disease, stomach disease, I mean like anything you can think of. Yeah, it can come from genetics, of course. But there's nothing you can do about that right now. I mean, of course, when gene therapy is a thing, maybe in 20 years, yeah, we can do that. Sure, great. But that's not something we can control. What you can control this day, this age, is your environment. And that's the acquired factors. And we talk about this. I mean, in school we talk about it. You can get all the diseases, almost all the diseases that you can get genetically, you can get acquired. And we know this. I mean, we see it. Heart disease, lung disease, skin disease, mental disease. I mean, all of this you can get. So what is it that in our environment can trigger us to having these things? Okay, you can look at, yeah, sure, maybe the food I eat, how much I move, who am I around, who are my friends, what kind of thoughts I have, who do you follow on social media, who is in your head. These are all environmental factors, and they affect you to a core, right? Like, we see that. And so, a huge, huge thing that plays a big role in our environment, we talked about the external environment, but we haven't talked about the internal environment, and that is your mindset. And this segues into this talk. When I was in grade 10, I had a teacher, Mr. St. Lawrence, and he was the biology guru. Fantastic teacher, but he said something to me that really bothered me. And I remembered, so I was 15, and he was a biology teacher, and he was teaching us about, oh, genetics, and oh, this and that. And I was so curious. I was like, ooh, this is so cool, finally, biology. And I remember him saying, you are bound to your genes. Your fate of your life depends on your genes. And I remember at the age of 15, I had actually come across music that had changed my life. And that was trance music. And that changed who I was as a person. I mean, I was one person up until I was 15, and then I became a different person. And I was like, so how is this even possible? So here we are, this teacher's telling me you're bound to your genetics. I've been one way my whole life, la-di-da. And then I listen to something, and I choose to listen to it. I'm in an environment, my best friend, her brother was a bouncer. He was like older, this big guy. And we were just going, he played this song. I was like, damn, Cam, my best friend, what is this? And she was like, and we're like kids, and I remember being like, oh my god, his name was Nemo. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And of course he looked at me, he's just like, little girls, you know? And I was like, no, this is doing something to me. And I came across it again at a party. I remember it was Betty Benassi's, I don't know, some like, again, trance song, and it literally was transforming my life. Now, listen to this. I am from a Persian household. We got the family, they got their cultural things, you know, they have their beliefs. And here I am in Canada, in my, happy little Canadian environment, boo, 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 boo. And like, the home and the outside, the beliefs are different, guys. It's just different. And I feel like a lot of you can relate. Maybe not. Beliefs are different, and it was hard to pick what it is that I wanted to do. I was getting input from one part, from the home life and their beliefs, and you go out and I'm like, this doesn't work with this doesn't work with this. Who the hell am I? Like, who are you when this does not match that? how do you pick to act? How do you know who you are? How are you supposed to just decide? Like, what do you say to yourself? I didn't know. And so I had seen that, okay, music has affected me this way. I want to learn more about how and why and what we can do in order to create the behaviors that we want to become who we want to be. Because clearly, just taking what someone's telling you wasn't working for me. And I'm pretty sure maybe it probably doesn't work for you guys either. So, came time for me to go into university, and I was applying to the science schools of Canada. Woo! And I decided to go to the science school. It was like all about research and the newest research, and I was like, I gotta go into this. I need to learn from the highest science school in Canada. So I went, and guys, I had this teacher, Dr. Day. I email him to this day. He doesn't respond to me. It's like super awkward because I love him, right? Like I literally write to him, you changed my life, no response. Like, God damn it. Do I have to go to Canada and find him? Okay, so this guy changed my life. And let me tell you why. He looked like Jesus. You can describe him as tall, old man. No matter what day in the year this guy wore sandals. Didn't care if it was snowing, didn't care if it was raining, didn't care, nothing. He had suspenders, he would walk like this, super friendly, loved, or whatever. So anyways, I was a huge fan of this man. And why was I a huge fan of this man? Because he has such a good attitude. But what fundamentally blew my mind about this guy is he brought up epigenetics to me. Now, what is epigenetics? I remember hearing him first talk about how the environment affects your genes. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Mr. St. Lawrence, you didn't know what you were telling me. And so he's like, yeah, epigenetics is the future, something you should go into. And I remember this, so I was sitting at the very top of the lecture room, and I had goosebumps everywhere. I was like, guys, this is wow. Then I continued taking his courses. And one of the courses I took, I did psych. That's what I was in. Life sciences, psych, and a minor in music. That's what I was into. I was like always into music. And then I had this part of me which was like, I want to understand the environmental factors on the brain and how music affects the brain. And what better way to understanding that than taking psych? So I took all of this man's courses. I mean, all the courses there. And one course specifically blew my mind. And it blows my mind to this day that more schools don't actually teach about this. And he told us this. He's like, in North America, this is not being taught in any of, like maybe a few schools, maybe like, I don't know, some schools had it, but very few. And this course was positive psychology. Now, he like rationalizes as, you know, we study the effect of abnormal psychology all the time. We know the brain when it's abnormal, but do we know the brain when it's like functioning well? And I was like, okay. And he starts telling, guys, he starts talking all sorts of, like my brain was just like, and I was like, oh my God, okay, happiness is key. Okay, that's how you function. Okay, yes, got it. Cool, great. But here's the thing. I finished at McMaster University, and being in a sciencey school and being in this sciencey environment, a lot of times what we focus mainly on is rationale and behave in a rational way. The way you need to act is rational. Feelings? What's feelings? Why do you need feelings? Forget about feelings. And it drove me insane because I was seeing that if you felt good, you behaved good. You did the right things. So why is it that science is ignoring this huge part of what drives us? What? It drove me insane. I literally was like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't even want to go to medical school, so screw this. So what did I go into? I decided, you know what, I want to pursue more music. So music, again, backbone of it, I started taking courses on music. I studied music therapy. I started doing music therapy. I started teaching music. Like, I was just fully in there. And I learned a few things. I learned that music's the only thing that can stimulate your whole brain at once. So a lot of times they use music therapy for people with Alzheimer's. That's what I was doing. I was going to these palliative care places and playing the piano for these people, and they were like, yes, so happy. I was like, oh my God, cool. Then I decided I want to learn music even deeper. So I was like, hi parents. Hello, Virgin parents. I think I need to move to New York to go to this production school to learn how to make music. And they were like, she's lost it. Like, she's doing, what is happening with this girl? And they tried to convince me out of it, but they couldn't. Because I was like, you know what? I'm picking tonight. I was like, no. There's something in this I gotta go in. No matter what they did, I wouldn't budge. And so they were like, God damn it, this girl just, okay, all right, go make music. And I was like, music is not entertainment, guys. But of course they didn't see it that way. So anyways, I moved to New York, I started making music, I learned how waves are made. Like, I learned how sound is created. I'm designing sounds, I'm producing music, I'm around people that are doing this. Like, literally, it was like, I'm feeling good, life is great, everything's amazing. And then I got to a point where I realized, okay, something that I feel I'm missing is this growth and this learning that is very advantageous in science or any other profession you want to take that you can excel in. And that's something that makes us feel good. Okay, it's been shown. If you are growing as a person in different aspects of your life, you feel good. That's the thing. So it's like, I want to learn more. Dad's like, okay, so you've been doing this, it's your youth, do you want to learn anything else? Maybe, And, okay, let me think about it. So I thought about it, and I thought about it really long and hard, and I realized my truth was, again, I want to learn more about the brain, again. I want to learn about it. So I was like, what am I going to do? I need to learn the basics. I want to learn about the human body. Like, I want to connect all these things together. So that's what brought me here. And came here, I'm like, yes! Can't wait for neuro. And so neuro semester came along, and for those who have taken neuro, yeah, you know how fun that is. And for those who haven't, well, just kidding. So I was that kid that, I would I would go into the class, I was like, yes, neuro. I would sit there at goosebumps, I was like, yes, neuro. I would learn about these things. The professor regularly as my teacher was like, yeah. I would see her, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. My brain was exploding of happiness. It was such an amazing time. I'm like, yes! But then came exam time. Guys, I couldn't do the exam. This is the thing. My life was, I came all the way from Canada to Hungary, Pécs, for this. And I was a goddamn failure. I'm like, great. Can't pass the exam. Why? I'm so passionate about this. Why on earth am I not doing it? Like, the passion is there, the feelings are there. Why am I not doing it? What is happening? And Professor Wrigley pulls me aside one day. We're walking. She's like, I just don't understand. I'm like, yeah, neither do I. She's like, you're so into this. Like, I see it in your eyes. I'm like, yeah. I was like hitting rock bottom, guys. I was like, don't even. Yeah, I know. She's like, Atusa, she said the four most powerful words I've ever heard. She said, watch your self-talk. I remember I was like, what on earth is she talking about? She's like, what do you say to yourself when no one's there? I was like, this lady's blowing my mind. Okay, what do I say to myself? I'm like, okay, so new project. Middle of exam period, guys. Middle of exam period. I'm like, self-talk. So, God, I start researching, and I'm trying to pass neuro, But then I'm trying to fix my self-talk because I'm realizing when I sit down and study, I'm just feeling super goddamn nervous. The feelings that I'm experiencing while doing the thing I need to pass the exam is fear-based. And I was like, okay, so the emotions are messed up here. Like, the emotions are not going along with what I want. If I'm so passionate and happy about this, why am I feeling these kind of emotions? Didn't make sense. Didn't align. Drove me nuts. So I came across a book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. I read it. And I found these, like I got obsessed with sentence structure and how we speak to ourselves. I was like, I tell myself, yes, this is going to be good. Yes, it's going to be fun. But it's like something is just not, oh God, it's not working. So I delved into it, and the power of sentence structure started to really, really, really be apparent to me. And what do I mean by sentence structure? I'm going to get into this. But before I get into it, I have to say that this programming had happened, and it was good. But still, I was getting in my own way. And this is when I was like, who am I supposed to talk to? Like, any person I talk to, like, yes, you can, just believe in yourself, yes, you can. Who do you go to when no one has the answers? When you don't even know what on earth is happening to yourself? You can't run away from yourself. You gotta sit there, and I realized, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go internal because something within myself is getting in my own way, right? Something within me is messing me up. Even though this is exactly what I want, it's still messing me up. And guys, I sat there for an hour and stared at myself in the mirror. Like, can you imagine an hour going by? Just sat there, like just staring. And I realized something. One side of my face was showing one emotion, and the other part was showing another. And this freaked me out. Why? Because I'm looking into one eye, and it's like resilient, yeah, ooh. The other one is like, I'm dead, like I'm done, there's no hope. And I'm like, okay, but who am I listening to? Like, am I listening to this or this? Is this what's getting in the way of it? And literally, life started spinning. I was like, okay, this is super, super, super weird. From neuro, we learned your emotions drive your behavior. We have big emotional pathways from emotional centers to the behavioral centers of our brain. So if I'm displaying two emotions simultaneously, how am I behaving? And of course it made sense. There was inner conflict. And this freaked me out because, I mean, how do you go and talk to someone about this? Hi, half of my face is showing one thing, the other is showing the other. Like, can you help me with that? Yeah, no. Like, what are you even seeing? So I'm like, okay, great. So I need to do this myself. So I go in front of the bathroom mirror, and I'm looking at myself. I'm like, what's your problem? And of course, okay, so I gotta describe to you what I saw. So this side, applying neuro to it, if we were to generalize, the right side of your face, specifically your right eye, is controlled by the left side, the hemisphere of your brain. And we call that the rational side. This eye, which is the emotion, displaying the emotion, again, creative, emotional side, right side. So it made sense that this was the rational eye and this was the emotional eye. And for some reason, these two were displaying something completely different, And so I was like, okay, I go to the mirror, I'm staring at myself, my eye is going bloodshot. Like, it's this one, the emotional one's going bloodshot. This one's like stern, like wall. And I'm like, you guys have to work together because we are getting in our own way. And you know, we hear those talks where people say they got in front of the mirror and they had some sort of miraculous talk and then things changed, right? We hear this. When people have breakthroughs, we hear this. They go in front of the mirror, they have a talk, and then things change. Guys, we look at ourselves in the mirror all the time. Why don't things change? Why is it that we can look at ourselves in the mirror every single day, but things don't change? You gotta actually look at yourself. And I mean, look at the emotions. Look at what you're displaying within yourselves. And form connection and understanding between these two. Now, new research has shown, this is a year after I realized this, has shown that countries that have been through a lot, like for example, Germany or Japan, they're investing greatly into their kids, into both hemispheres of the brain. Creative, rational, emotional, and both sides. And they have actual counselors in helping them understand both sides. Now, why? You'll ask me why. You can have the smartest person in the country, killing it at the game, but then a girl or a boy breaks up with them and they want to commit suicide. Why is that? How does that make sense? If you're so rational, why is it that when the emotional part goes haywire, you want to end your life? How does that make sense? There needs to be this connection. And you see, countries like that are investing in it. These association fibers which connect the two hemispheres together. And when you sit there and look at yourself and ask yourself the proper questions, when you see that emotion in your eye and you feel that resistance, you gotta be like, do you see what you're doing to yourself? Do you see how this part of you feels? See what it says. See what it says to you. Sometimes it'll be like, yeah, I see it. And yeah, mine was stern. It was like impossible to break through. And I had to be like, no. So then I let this one talk to that one. It's like, no, we're not gonna go crazy ham. You gotta listen to me. You have to genuinely see me for who I am. The both parts and sides of you. And eventually, after talking and talking, there was a unity. There was something that clicked. I want to say my life changed after that day. Things started running smoothly. There was none of that resistance. It was like I could behave and not have this conflict. It was like the emotion was hitting and behavior was following. It wasn't like emotional hitting, don't know what to do with it, so we're stuck with no behavior. So this is the first part that is very, very key. You are in control of yourself, so you need to actually acknowledge both parts of you, your emotional side and your rational side. If you don't want to get in your own way, because your emotions do drive your behavior. Whatever behavior that you guys do is first filtered through your emotions. We know this. So you gotta look at both parts of it. Then comes to the programming and the segment of the self-talk that we're here to talk about. So I want to emphasize that, actually I can emphasize that after. We have 5 steps, you could say, which can either create success or failure. The first step that you can look at is your behavior. Very easy, cause and effect, right? You behave a certain way, you get the results. Great. If I do this, then I get this result. Fantastic. Now, why is it that if we know what the right thing to do is, we're not doing it? Why? If you know, why aren't you doing it? Let me tell you. Your behavior is controlled, influenced by your feelings. That's the second step. Feelings. We come to feelings once again. Again, as we mentioned, every behavior that you do is first filtered through your emotions. Great. Let's give a perfect example. You have 2 plates of food. It's not that one plate of food is better than the other. It's how you feel about it. What decides what you pick is genuinely how you feel about it, isn't it? So, then you'll be asking, what kind of feelings? Like the good feelings are we talking about that's driving the behavior, or all of it? Guys, all of it. Everything you feel about your work, your friends, your school, your marriage, your life goals, your finances, whatever it is, the sum total of your feelings is driving this behavior. Now you'd be asking, well then great, what's driving the feelings. Where do the feelings come from? Your feelings are again controlled, decided, and influenced by attitudes. I was going to say character, but it's your attitudes. Attitude is how you perceive the world around you. Now, all of us have good, bad attitudes, and we have bad attitudes. We have a sum total. There's not a single person that has just good attitudes, just bad attitudes. You're made up of the sum total of this. Now, what drives the attitudes? You may be asking. Again, so we said it's a 5-step program, right? 5 steps. First, we mentioned behavior. Then we mentioned feelings. Then we mentioned attitudes. Then, what drives this attitude? It's your beliefs. Your beliefs about something. Your beliefs, in turn, affect your beliefs affect your attitudes, which affect your feelings, which affect your behavior. Your beliefs about anything can be so powerful that it can create something to be something that it's not. It doesn't matter if your belief is true or not. The whole point of belief is it paints a picture of what you think, whether it is true or whether it's not, whether it's false or wrong. For example, you want to be a social, popular kid. You want to talk to people. But your belief about yourself is, oh, I don't know, I don't think that's for me. I don't think I can. I don't know. So, how does that affect your attitude? Well, in a crowded room, for example, you could stand behind everyone else. Not really talk. Okay? How do you feel about yourself? Probably not so good. You're timid, you're awkward, you're just like, ugh. And then how will that affect your behavior? You're not going to be talking. You're not going to be speaking your truth. You're not going to be doing what it is that you want to do to become the person you want to be, right? So it's a cause and effect. Now you may be asking, okay, great. So great, we got to beliefs. Now what on earth is controlling the beliefs? And this, guys, is where we come to programming. What you've been programmed to believe is the outcome of your life. So, programming has been cemented into you since the day you've been born by the people you're around, by the friends that you're around, by the kind of self-talk that you have. And it shapes who you are. The programming, specifically the self-talk that you have with yourself, creates the beliefs, creates the attitudes, creates the feelings, and creates your behavior. So, as we can see, the cause and effect, it's detrimental what it is that you're saying to yourself. It can program you to fail if you don't get a hold on it. Now, I just want to reaffirm that self-talk, I'll tell you what it's not, and then I'll tell you what it is. What it's not is positive thinking. It's not positive thinking, guys. Positive thinking, it's not. It's not motivational, like, woohoo, let's have motivation. No. And it's also not like hypnosis, subliminal messages. No, none of that. Why? Because with positive thinking, you can go somewhere and someone will be like, oh, guys, do this, and you'll be like, oh, externally motivated, yes. Then you go home, and all of a sudden, everything just kind of is what it was. Perfect analogy that you can give for this is, let's say you have an apartment with all this old stuff. And you tell your friend, hi, come please help me, like, move this stuff out. So you do. You remove every garbage in your apartment. You move it out. And then your friend leaves, and you're standing in an empty apartment like, great. Where am I going to sit? Where am I going to sleep? Am I going to watch TV? Maybe I'll just go back outside and grab the couch. Okay, couch is back in. Maybe I'll go grab that bed again because I don't have a bed to sleep on. What am I going to sleep on the ground? No, okay. Grabbing the bed. And before you know it, everything that you tried to put out is back in. Why? Because you haven't replaced it with the proper thing. If your friend were to come, empty out your place, and you were to have a truck full of new furniture, you wouldn't be going back to the old. You would be using the new stuff you brought in. So self-talk is not, like I said, positive thinking. It's more than that. It's not motivational, because a lot of times motivational talks are external. You get it from someone. Self-talk is internal work. It doesn't come from someone else. It comes from you. It's on you. There's that responsibility. And it's not hypnosis or subliminal messages, even though you're talking to your subconscious when you do the programming. Why is it not hypnosis? Because it's conscious behavior. It's conscious words that you're picking to say to yourself. Now, then you'll be asking, okay, all right, great, Jesus. So what is self-talk? Can you please tell us what self-talk is? Right. Self-talk is deliberate, conscious. You're good? Okay. Deliberate, conscious choice of words used to replace bad programming with positive programming, replacing the old behaviors. It's living your life with intent and not just passively going by. That's what it is. Now, let's break down self-talk. What kind of self-talks do we have? What types of self-talk do we have? All right. I can tell you what kind of self-talk most people have, and it's the negative affirmations. What's that? Okay. It's the I can't. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. I wish I could do that, but no, I can't do that. Do you want to study later? No, I just, I can't do it. Okay. Do you want to eat that? No, I can't. Like, I can't even look at that right now. I can't. It's the I can't. It's the negative affirmations. You are talking to yourself and telling yourself, hi, you're not going to do this. You're literally, as we said, again, from the beginning, beliefs, feelings, attitudes, behavior, sorry guys, behavior, feelings, attitudes, beliefs, and then programming. Programming what you say to yourself. If you're saying I can't, you're not going to do it. Second form of self-talk we have. This is, you're taking responsibility, but you're not doing anything about it. So let's give an example. I really need to study. I really need to go get groceries. I really need to talk to my mom. I really need to do this. I should do this. I should go do this. I should go do that. You say that, but you don't finish the sentence. What do you think the rest of the sentence is? I should do this, but I'm not going to do it. I should do it, but I won't. Again, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Because again, starting from the top, behavior is driven by your feelings, which is driven by your attitudes, which is driven by your beliefs, again, by your programming. So if you're saying to yourself, I need to, but I won't, you think you're going to do it? No, you're not going to do it. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to do it. So we're going to go to the third form of self-talk. And this is the first form of self-talk that actually gets you to recognize what it is that you want to do and gives you something to do about it. Puts it in the active present tense and you start doing. Now you ask me, what is this? This is the powerful habit formation, guys. This is the phrase of I never and I no longer. Pick something that you don't want to do. I'll give a perfect example. Smoking. A lot of people don't want to smoke. What are they saying? I really need to stop. I really shouldn't. But I'm going to. I really should. I can't stop. let me give you the phrase of what you should tell yourself. Even as you're lighting a cigarette, what you should tell yourself. You say to yourself, I never smoke. I no longer smoke. Yeah, you're going to be like, oh, this is weird. I'm lying to myself. Guys, again, this is why I've reaffirmed those 5 steps. Your belief matters and your programming matters. Telling yourself you never do something gets you to emotionally feel, oh, this is what it feels like not to do it. And within time, you're not going to be doing it. You're not going to be doing it. Take anything that it is that you want to stop doing or you want to implement. Implementation actually is the next step. But for this, you want to break a habit, put it in the I never and I no longer. And watch your life transform. You're going to be feeling different. It's going to freak you out. Hopefully not. It'll make you feel really good. Step number 4, the most powerful. And this is my favorite because this really paints a picture of who you are to your subconscious, to yourself. What you've dreamt of being, this is it. And this is the phrase of I am. Or it is me who. Let's put it into action. I am the one who feels great. I am the one who studies when I want to. I am the one that talks to my family when I feel like it. I am the one who is organized. Whatever it is that you want to be, when you put it in this I am, you are creating to your subconscious mind what exactly it is that you want to be. And you're saying, hey, replace the old bad programming. This is the me I want you to create. It is in your hands to do it. If you're sitting here and being like, I want. You never say to yourself, we're using this. Get this in your head. I never say I cannot do this. I never put myself in a position to fail. I am the one who will succeed. I am successful. Do you see the difference in shifts? Do you see? Like, yes, no.
Yeah.
And guys, I've typed out programming phrases for you guys. There's 158. You can take with you, you can read through it. And it's about all aspects of your life. How you problem solve, how you handle problem solving, responsibilities, your health, all aspects of your life. And this genuinely will and is very powerful stuff. You have to sit there. Now, let me tell you. This is very important. How do you apply this? What do? You just say to yourself, listen, there's silent self-talk. And this is the thoughts that go through your head. Well, that's one way of doing it. The other is actually saying it out loud. The other is writing it out loud. A really good one is the self-talk conversation, where you hold a conversation with it yourself. You hold both ends of the conversation. Okay? How are you feeling today? I am feeling great. For example, these are ways to act on it. But the most powerful way that I've seen, personally worked for me and may work for you, is writing these out. These phrases. Sitting there and writing them out on a flashcard. First of all, when you write, we know synapses and pathways are strengthened. We know that. So it's in your best interest to write the exact phrase out. By your hand, not type it up, literally sit there and write it. You are the one that will write these phrases out. Write them out and read them again. Within a week, for me, instantaneously, you will feel the difference. You gotta write it out and you gotta read it over. We can talk about you creating your own as well, if you want. want to. For every negative self-talk that you have, you can change it to a positive one. If you make sure it's simple, make sure it's simple, simply written. And what you're writing isn't actually shooting you again in the foot. So I say, with this list, write these out. If you want to create your own, that's fine, but understand the structure of how to speak to yourself first. Third step in this, so the first one was the emotional alignment, second was the programming, and the third, this is very, very, very important. Now we talked about right now, programming, great. We all know we are made up of our habits. Now why is it that it's so hard to create habits? Why? I wonder. Because a lot of times the habits that we're trying to create are so goddamn difficult. The secret to habit formation is from a book I actually read called The Slight Edge. It's a great book. And it talks about, if this is your life, right here, and in the 5 aspects of your life, your health, finance, personal development, life goals, and relationships. These 5 aspects of your life. If you put 0.001% effort into every one of these aspects of your life will change dramatically. This is the curve. These are things that are easy to do, but also easy not to do. That's the trick, guys. It's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. 0.001% effort. How much effort is that? It's not even a percent. Don't tell me you can't do it. 0.001%. In these 5 aspects of your life, ask yourself, personal development, am I doing something to create personal development within myself every single day? Guys, this is compound interest. This curve is like, it'll go like this. Or if you don't do it, what do you think it will go? Exactly the opposite. Life is never stagnant. You're either building or you're going down. That's the effect of the slight edge. So with the awareness of how to create habits and how to break them with your proper self-talk, you can implement habits, daily activities that will compound over time to create the life that you want. And at this day and age, you can do it. You have the tools. There is no excuse at all. In every aspect of your life, again, it could be, let's talk about health. 0.001% effort. For people, that may be different. You can do 5 crunches a day. Commit to doing that every single day. This is not something you do and then you forget about. If that's what you're doing, it's too hard for you. Make it easy. Something that's easy to do, but easy not to do. You getting it? And you can apply this to every aspect of your life. Whether it's reading, if you read 10 pages of a new book every single day, you will have read 3,650 pages, something, yeah, of new book. Do you know the wealth of knowledge that's in there? Do you know who you'll be within a year? It's in your hands. It's simple. It depends. Are you going to program yourself to be who you want to be? Or are you going to continue with the I can't, I should, but I'm not going to's? That's it, guys. Now, does anyone have any questions that they're interested in asking?
You said that life is never stagnant. Sometimes when you like, I think about the people who are having a 9-to-5 job. It's like there are a lot of jobs that doesn't require a lot of stimulation, and they don't have time. But again, like how you said, if you wanna, you can after 5 do things.
Yeah, we had this discussion.
Which is
Yeah,
good.
there's time. Of course there's time. What are you doing with your free time? Watching Netflix? What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's like
Drinking? What are you doing? You have the time. What are you, like, you're doing jack all is what you're doing with that free time. You can do it. Just, if you spend 1 hour a day doing this stuff, it'll change it. I mean, you have to program yourself to put the excuses aside. Because of course, you're, like I said, you're programmed to fail, right? Because evolutionarily, we don't want to put too much effort. But the advantage of putting too much effort into it is you can actually make something of your life that you want. Because you don't have Jock and Joan and whatever else in the middle. Document your life, guys. Document, understand your patterns. You don't have to put it out for the public. Do it for yourself. Understand your wealth. Understand where your truth stands. Document, document, document. Figure yourself out. Yeah, so I don't know if did that answer your question.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you have a 9 to 5 and you're just not getting stimulated, what do you think is gonna happen? Probably your brain is gonna start atrophying. You're not using your neurons. That's gonna lead to a great life. Not stimulate yourself, girl. You gotta go up. You gotta go up. And there's such an advantage to growth because as we spoke about, growth brings about happiness. If you were to invest in these 5 aspects of your life, do you know how good you're gonna feel? Yeah, go. I don't mean everyone else.
We often have those conversations a lot.
Yeah.
So you said if you could add effort to 9.999,
0.0,
sorry,
yeah.
excuse me. 0.00, okay, very little amount. I'll say sometimes some areas of your life requires a lot of energy and effort. And yeah, it takes to like, you know, sometimes it's not only up to one person. Then how can you compensate? How do you
I got the programming for you, baby girl. There's a part for that. You're responsible for everything in your life. Who you're around, guys, who your friends are, you're made up of the 5 people that are closest to you. You best watch who you're around.
Yeah.
You best watch who you're around.
Yeah.
You are made up of the 5 people that are closest to you.
But what if you don't have much options?
What do you mean?
It's better to not have the options than be around the wrong people.
Yeah.
There's 7 billion people in the world. You have
You listen, excuse after excuse.
What do you mean you don't have the options? Like I don't understand.
I'm just saying.
But what do you mean?
You don't need to be around people. You can build your own community over what you like. Screw people. I mean, no, not screw people. But if people are not aligned with who you are and what, listen, your friends' beliefs rub off on you guys. If you're around the wrong people, that's gonna rub off on you whether you like it or not. You're not an immune person to this. It will affect you. So you're better off not being around anyone. Being around one person and your internal being, get that going. You don't need the rest. Don't. Be around the wrong people. They'll affect you. They'll emotionally affect you.
Yeah. No, 100%. I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Like, I know Tusa for years now, but she helped me a lot with this, all these ideas of the I am or I will or who I am, these things. I was struggling a lot with body image and such things, and I dress how I dress out of security, not out of anything else, out of laziness, although it appears it to be. But I can say honestly that I did what you said with the write down that I am the one who views myself as etc. And it actually has worked. And I'm someone that has been suffering from so many eating disorders, all these things for years. And this was something that actually sparked something. So I can say that, like, I know it sometimes sounds like, oh, I don't want to write it out because out of laziness, but we're always writing, we're medical students. But if it's one thing that I could have learned 10 years ago, it would have been this, because that's what helped me. And I was someone who couldn't really be helped for a lot of things.
Can we put this in round of
You're so
Guys, it works. I mean, 100% it works. Invest in yourself. Figure out your self-talk. Look yourself in the goddamn mirror. If your eyes are saying all sorts of weird, figure that out. If you're not aligned within yourself, if you look in your eye and you're like, oh God, figure that out. You're getting in your own way. Emotional alignment is very, very key.
Okay, so in exam period, what would you recommend someone who is, okay, for example, neuro?
Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you what I did with neuro.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a game changer. I decided if this is if this is what I want to learn, I want to learn it properly. I want to invest in this. And what did I do? For those of you that know me and know how I make notes, my question and answer format, I learned that the way I take information is in a very like emotional, like it's like, oh my God, neuro. So I had to learn how to actually tap into the factual parts of my brain, the parts that store information. And that was done by question and answer. So how I did it was I would record the lectures and I would go through it. I would physically write everything out. I was down. I wanted to learn it. Write it down in a form of question and answers every single day. Every single day after every single lecture. Actually, this past exam period, with Pathofist, I had decided to ignore the question and answer method, and I decided to do a different way of learning. And yeah, shot myself in the foot, of course, shouldn't have done that. But during the exam period, I was like, oh my goddamn Lord. Like, how am I going to get through this? How? Like, physically, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to learn the whole... Guys, and Misha knows this. She's seen my room with all the, I have phrases of I am all over my room. And right in front of my desk is, first one is, I am successful. Key. I am successful. I am focused. And I am enough. Guys, I saw this day in and day out, and this triggered something in me. I was going 100 when I could only go 20. What you look at, who you're around, again, we're talking about this. These things affect you. So if you're in the exam period and you're like, God, Lord, what am I going to do? You want to be successful? I am successful. You want to be calm? I am calm. You want to be focused? I am focused. Write this out and have your eyes see it. Say it to yourself. I mean, game changer, guys. Really. So that's what I would do. Whatever it is that I want to achieve, I form it into those sentences.
Yeah.
If I want to break a habit, I form it in those sentences. And it works without fail. Works without fail. Anything and everything. In every aspect of my life. Works without fail.
No, but it's like we study for exams, and we've all, at least everyone in this room has passed one exam. So if we can study for exams and pass, we have to study
You
ourselves.
goddamn can't do it.
Yeah.
You goddamn can't do it. Listen, not everyone is meant
She's
to
so
be the,
amazing.
oh, I have achieved everything in my life. Yeah, not everyone will amount to that. I get that. Not everyone's going to be up there. I get that. But if you do want to be, this is what you do. Program yourself. What's up?
I just want to add something if you would agree with me.
Yeah.
What you said is truly fantastic, and if I may add something, I think it adds to it if you just take things like one at a time. And then once you get something done, once you achieve something, you will just have this good satisfaction that I can actually do it. And then you can target the next thing. And I think if we set like a list of priorities, like, okay, so let me just focus on this exam period, like I want to be successful now. And I had this experience myself, like I had some fails in the past. And I just, in the end I decided to take it like one at a time. okay, let me just focus on these couple of exams. Oh, actually I can do it.
How did it make you feel to focus on one at a time?
I mean,
Think about it.
the amount of dopamine and
I mean, no, but how did you feel?
you feel good about yourself, like truly good about yourself.
Did you
And
feel a little bit more calm?
not just confident because before that, the speed that you had that I had with myself, like you said, it was like probably you're not as good as you thought you were, or probably you're not meant for this, or probably you. And then when you start like setting your priorities, okay,
I just got anxiety hearing that. I'm like, oh, you're not good enough. This. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Go on.
So I think just listing your priorities and let's target this first. If you achieve at least one thing, I guarantee like
100%.
stuff will just
For sure.
come rolling by.
For sure.
Okay, the next thing.
100%.
Next thing.
Yeah.
And I really agree with everything that you said. It's been fantastic. So thank you.
So yeah, if no one else has questions, I'm gonna leave. I think I have 30. Oh, okay. I have 30 copies of this of the self-talk. You guys can take it, write it out as we said. Strengthen the synapses within your brain. Don't friggin' not do it. Don't. This is not something you want to cheat your way out of. Actually, write it out in flashcards. Have an honest conversation with yourself and kill it. Kill it.
Thank you to Atusa for sharing all her beautiful insights.
Yeah.